Hey, hey, warrior saints. Happy Holy Monday. I hope you had a joyous feast of Palm Sunday yesterday, enjoyed your celebration of Lazarus Saturday on Saturday, and we're able to enjoy some beautiful, quiet, focused time last night during the bridegroom orthros service of Holy Monday, which we are at now today. It's always interesting to me the way that Lazarus Saturday and Palm Sunday kind of function. We're going to spend a lot of this week talking about Holy Week, but before we get into Holy Week, I want to talk about that weekend because they're not really Lenten services and they're not really Holy Week services. They're kind of their own thing. Like on Friday of last week, we would have heard in the services about coming to the end of the 40 days and the time of the great fast is now over. And we're like, what are you talking about? We still got more time to go. And then we enter into this celebratory feast days of Lazarus Saturday and Palm Sunday, where we celebrate Christ raising Lazarus from the dead. We celebrate Christ's victorious entry into Jerusalem. And everything becomes anticipatory. In everything that we're doing here on out, we're rushing to Christ's empty tomb, and we're making this movement towards there. And we have this like foreshadowing of what is to come in Christ's raising Lazarus from the dead. And we hear in the Troparion how by confirming the universal resurrection, O Christ God, thou didst raise Lazarus from the dead. Like this idea that it's something that is coming. It's something that he is showing us, something that will be revealed to us. And then we greet Christ as the conquering king, but he doesn't exactly look like we expect him to look, right? We expect a conquering king to enter like Commodus enters into Rome in Gladiator, with people throwing leaves and throwing things at his feet and shouting for excitement that the emperor has now returned. And in reality, we see our king entering not on a chariot, on a donkey, coming to hear the shouts of the children, entering in this great joy. But the joy that he is entering into is one that we are quickly reminded as we come back for the service that we celebrated last evening. Quickly reminded that it is entry into the city into which he is going to be put to death. Entry into the city in which he is being prepared for death. Entry into the city in which he will conquer death itself by his death, through the only way that he is able to, the only way that he shows us how to conquer death, through the cross, through taking up our own cross. And last night during the service, we were given examples of what this means. We heard the story of Joseph, rejected by his brothers, who then gets thrown into a pit and gets sent into Egypt. And while in Egypt is able to take those things that were not great things, being thrown into a pit, being sold into slavery, being rejected by his family, being rejected by those who he was there to be with, rejected by those who were there for him or called to be there for him. Just like Christ is rejected by those who he comes to free from the bonds of death and sin. Christ is rejected by those who he was called to free. Joseph is rejected by his brothers, as he reminds us of this image of who Christ is, setting the frame, setting the stage for all that we are going to experience throughout Holy Week, all that we are going to see unfold, all that we are going to see happening. And then we hear this incredible parable of the fig tree, reminded that we are called to bear fruit, or we will be cursed and cast out the same way that the fig tree is. We are called to bear this fruit, to produce, right? To do in our lives things which will be well-pleasing to God, modeled after those things that he has done, that he has shown us what it is, so that we can follow his way, follow his path, which can only lead to the cross. Well, which only leads through the cross to the other side on the empty tomb. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the Orthros service that we're going to see tonight, the themes that are on there. In the meantime, so that you are thinking about what it means to produce fruit after hearing about the fig tree last night. We welcome you to join us on the Way of the Warrior Saint. Visit warriorsaints.org. Sign up for the Way of the Warrior Saint. Find out how you too can live that crucifixional life so that you can unlock what is buried deep inside you, so you can let it all out and you can produce the fruit that you have been created to produce, so that you can follow the way of Christ and you can push through on your way to the cross, living that crucifixional living, so that you might too find the empty tomb. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night. Well, seeing you tonight as we have our Orthros of Holy Tuesday service. And until we see you tomorrow morning, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.